All right, you guys. Okay, so this lesson I normally would do on whiteboards in class with you guys, but obviously we can't do that. So hopefully you'll enjoy these as much as I do. It's hard to get that enjoyment to be there when I'm not there to kind of push you into it. All right, so we're going to solve these. So the same steps as the square roots are going to apply. Why aren't you focusing? So the first thing would be to isolate the radical. So remember, we need to work reverse PEMDAS. So at the bottom of PEMDAS is adding or subtracting. So that's what we need to start with when we're undoing what's been done to x. So we need to add 5 to both sides. So we'll have 4 cubed root of 2x minus 1 equals 8. Okay. Now I still need to isolate the radical. I have to get rid of that 4. It's next to the radical, so that means it's being multiplied. So how do we undo multiplication? We divide. Okay, so we will have the cubed root of 2x minus 1 equals 8 divided by 4 is 2. All right, so now here's the new step. You know how when we were solving square roots, to undo a square root, you have to square it? Well, how do we undo a cubed root? We have to cube it. But whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. So anytime you cube a cube root, poof, the stuff inside gets to come out. 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, which makes sense why 8 is a perfect cube. And now we just have to solve for x. So it's easy peasy from here on out. Just have to add 1 to both sides. You'll get 2x equals 9. And then divide both sides by 2. And x equals 9/2, or half of 9, which would be what, 4.5 if we were asked to write that as a decimal. Okay, so we'll put or 4.5. All right, that's all there is to it. So on this next one, you're going to be asked to do it. Actually, no, we'll wait till letter B. I'll do this one with you, and then letter B, you'll be asked to do it in Edpuzzle. And you'll have to type in your answer as a response, and you could type it in as a fraction or a decimal, if it is a fraction or a decimal. Okay. So remember, anything to the 1/2 power is a square root. So anything to the 1/3 power is a cubed root. So let's rewrite this. 4 plus the cubed root of x minus 1 equals 2. All right, now it looks a little bit better. So now let's isolate the radical, which means we got to get rid of that 4. So what should I do? That's right, subtract it. So we'll have the cubed root of x minus 1 equals 2 minus 4 is -2. Okay, and now we have to undo the cubed root. So to undo a cube root, we have to cube it. But whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. And when we cube a cube root, poof, the stuff inside gets to come out. And -2 times -2 times -2 is -8. All right. One more step to go. We just have to add 1 to both sides. -8 plus 1 is -7. So that one ended up being an integer. All right, letter B. You're going to be asked to do this one on Edpuzzle. And by that time, you should have already done it, so now I can do it. All right, so we need to solve for x, and we need to isolate that variable, or the radical first. So this 7 is in front, which means it's being multiplied times the radical. So we have to undo the multiplication by dividing by 7. So we'll get the cubed root of 2x plus 5 equals 21 divided by 7 is 3. Now the radical is isolated, so we have to undo the cubed root by cubing both sides of the equation. When you cube a cubed root, poof, the stuff inside gets to come out. And 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3, well, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. So that's why 27 is a perfect cube. All right, and now it's on easy street from here on out. We just have to do our normal steps. So subtract 5. We'll get 2x equals 27 minus 5 is 22. We got to get rid of that 2 that's in front of the x, so we have to divide both sides by 2. And x is going to equal 11. Anyone notice that I haven't asked you to check for extraneous solutions? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But for the cubed roots, guess what? There won't be extraneous solutions. That's only with the square roots. So we don't have to check our answers. They're going to work. But if you want to, we can. 2 times 11 is 22. 22 plus 5 is 27. The cubed root of 27 is 3. 3 times 7 is 21. It works. Just saying. All right, flip it over to the back side. So letter C is next. All right, so I don't want to use yellow. We have the cube root of x minus 1 equals 5. You're going to be asked to try this one out on your own on Edpuzzle also. Okay, and so let's see. It's already isolated, so I can go straight to cubing both sides, because when you cube something, that's what undoes the cubed root. So poof, the x minus 1 gets to come out. 5 to the third. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. All right. Well, now we just have to add the 1 to both sides. And we'll get that x equals 126. So easy, right? All right, letter D. I'll do this one with you, so I won't make you do it in Edpuzzle. So we've got to isolate the radical first, so we need to get rid of that minus 6, so we're going to have to add it to both sides. So we'll get the cubed root of 3x minus 1 equals negative 4 plus 6 is 2. Okay, and now we have to undo the cubed root, so we have to cube both sides of the equation. Whenever we cube a cube root, poof, the stuff inside gets to come out. And 2 cubed 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And you should be starting to recognize that quicker in your head. And now we just have to do our simple steps to solve for x. Got to add 1 to both sides. 3x equals 9. Divide both sides by 3. And x equals 3. Aren't these fun? I love these. So fun. All right, letter E. I will make you do this one in Edpuzzle. So this one's an Edpuzzle one. I'm going to write myself little notes about that. Okay, so first of all, you need to isolate the radical. So that means we need to subtract 3 from both sides. So we'll get the cubed root of x equals 5 minus 3 is 2. Well, now we have to undo the cube root, so we have to cube both sides of that equation. Poof, the stuff inside gets to come out, and 2 to the third is 8. Oh, look at that. We done. That's the answer. Should have gotten x equals 8. Letter F. I'll do this one with you guys. So we need to get rid of that 2, so we're going to need to subtract it. So we'll have the cubed root of x plus 5 equals 1. And then we're going to need to undo the cubed root, which means we have to cube both sides. So poof, the x plus 5 gets to come out. 1 cubed is still a 1. We need to solve for x, and all we got to do is subtract 5 to make it happen. And so we'll get that x equals 1 minus 5 is a negative 4. And that's the answer. Last one. I will make you guys do this one on Edpuzzle. So I'll write myself a note. So we've got 3 times the cubed root of 2x equals 12. We need to isolate the cubed root first, which means I got to get rid of the 3. It's next to the radical, so that means it's being multiplied. So I got to undo the multiplication by dividing. So we'll get the cubed root of 2x equals 4. And now all I got to do is undo the cubed root, which means I got to cube both sides of the equation. When you cube a cube root, poof, the stuff inside gets to come out. And 4 to the third, 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. And then we just have to solve for x. So all I got to do is divide by 2. So half of 64 is 32. And that's it.